we had a great reunion in Seoul of our research group's alumni from PhDs and from postdoctoral fellowships in late August of 2023, and I just wanted to tell you about it. Here's the photo of the whole group of us that gathered at a wonderful restaurant together and had a really, really nice meal together and reminisced on some good times that members of the group had had and some of the great work they'd done, and also talked about some of the exciting projects that people are working on now that they're all independent faculty members and scientists at government labs. I wanted to go through a couple of those individuals here and some of their stories. This is Jungwon Kim, who's now a faculty member at PNU. He did some really great work on colloidal quantum dot inks when he was postdoctoral fellow. And now he's in the Department of Material Systems Engineering at PNU and works both on radiation relevant materials and on perovskite solar cells. Got to see Hoon Kim, who's faculty member at Kookmin University. He had done some really cool work when he was postdoctoral fellow in our team on managing the surfaces of colloidal quantum dots, in particular, figured out a way to passivate specific surfaces, both to help colloidal stability and device performance. And now he's in the Department of Applied Chemistry at Kookmin and works on quantum dots and both in photodetection and more broadly in optoelectronics. This is Dr. Jin Young Kim, who's at KIST. When he was with us as a postdoctoral fellow, he came to us from the Stilachi group at MIT, where he'd done his PhD and then did a postdoc in our group. He worked on this really creative approach to making colloidal quantum dot films through a centrifugal colloidal casting and new materials processing approach that led to some benefits, including in devices. And Jin Young's now a principal research scientist at KIST, particularly focused on materials and systems for hydrogen. This is a very new professor. This is Dr. Dehun Lee. He's now a faculty member at Korea University. Dehun came to our group for a postdoc. He had done his PhD at SNU. And he got, while he was a postdoc in our group, he got a really nice Nature Catalysis paper on hydrogen peroxide electrosynthesis. And now that he's at Korea University, he's going to be focusing still on advanced energy materials, both for catalysis, but also for batteries. This is Dr. Wei Huk Jung, who we call Jung. And so Jung, when he was doing his postdoc in our research group, had a really nice ACS Energy Letters paper on some really important contributions to the ETL in perovskite solar cells. And now he's a faculty member at Kentech and continued to have really important contributions to perovskites and also energy more broadly. Dr. Minje Choi is a professor at Dongguk University. I got to spend quite a bit of time with Minje while I was in Seoul. He did some really excellent work when he was a postdoctoral fellow in our group on thinking about how the facets on colloidal quantum dots influence how they couple together into films and how that influences devices. This was relevant to photodetection. And he's now in CBE, a professor at Dongguk, and continuing to do work on photodetectors, but also making contributions in the area of electrocatalysis, such as in green hydrogen peroxide. Dr. Mead Young Lee just took up her faculty position at INU. She just completed a postdoc in our research group where she had a really exciting Nature Catalysis paper where she reported a really impressively efficient and selective electrosynthesis of butane using the combination of electrosynthesis to go from CO to ethylene and then to use thermocatalysis to dimerize the ethylene to selectively form butane. And now she's a faculty member in material science and engineering at INU, and she's continuing to work in the area of energy materials, including electrosynthesis. Dr. Dehun Nam is now a faculty member at DGIST. When he was in our group as a postdoctoral fellow, he did some great work on MOFs used in CO2 reduction. This he published in JACS. And he also led the charge on a nice Nature Materials review on the topic of molecular enhancement in CO2 reduction. And now at DGIST, he's a faculty member in energy science and engineering, and he continues to make contributions in electric catalysis and materials. Dr. Simjun Lee is now on the faculty at Kentech. When he was in our research group, he did some really excellent work that he published in JACS on controlling how indium phosphide-based quantum dot LEDs can have their HTLs improved, so their whole transport layers for hole injection improved with the action of self-assembled monolayers, and made really nice contributions to the performance of those devices through these insights. And now is in energy engineering at Kentech and is continuing to work in the area of optoelectronic materials. Dr. Seungwoo Bae of Korea University was wonderful in co-organizing our nice lunch together. Seungwoo had a first authored Nature Energy paper when he was a postdoctoral fellow in our research group. He's an expert in kind of combining colloidal quantum dots with organics to make better devices. And he's now in the faculty of Korea University in CBE, and he continues to make contributions in the area of IR sensors, and also has broader activities on LEDs and on solar photovoltaics. And this is Professor Jiwan Kim, who's at GNU. When Jiwan was with us, he did some really nice work on CQD optoelectronic devices, including ones enhanced with SAMs. And now he's on the faculty of GNU. He's working in material science and engineering, and he's continuing to do work with quantum dots and perovskites, both in LED sensors and in solar. And this finally is Dr. Da-Ye Won. She's also at KIST. When she was in our group, she was a part of a nice effort and made important contributions to work on CO2 electroreduction to multi-carbon products. This was a project in which we were able to turn carbonate with the aid of renewable electricity into ethylene that was just published in Joule this year. And she's now back at KIST as a senior research scientist in the Clean Energy Research Division and continues to work in the area of CO2 upgrade.